Welcome back to Ann Arbor outside Michigan Stadium. I'm Kevin Xavier for the Daily Targum, and Rutgers just finished a lopsided defeat, 49-16 at the hands of the Wolverines. I bring in our sports editor, Garrett Stepien. Garrett, this game seemed like it was over pretty quickly. Rutgers could get nothing going offensively early. What did you see on the field today?
I think the best chance the Rutgers had on offense was, the play that never happened on the first play of the game from scrimmage. Michigan looked to fumble on a toss from Jake Rudock to Drake Johnson. Turns out it was an incomplete pass, forward pass, so Michigan goes down the field. They miss a field goal, but after that, the offense just gets going. Rutgers, much the same struggles like we've seen before. Chris Laviano had a night to forget once again. Run game wasn't able to get going after the first quarter. Defense was worn down. Michigan had their way with Rutgers tonight, and that was the result, a 49-16 blowout. Lost the third straight for Rutgers in the span of 3 weeks.
You mentioned Rudock, and he had a terrific game. 337 yards passing, 2 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground. What did you see from the Michigan quarterback tonight, Garrett?
Transfer from Iowa, I should say. Carved up Rutgers in his first night. I should say the first night where he's had over 300 yards passing in a Michigan uniform, 18 to 25 passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, even mixed in there. Rudock had his way with the young, inexperienced secondary for Rutgers. It's just more of what we've seen in the past 3 weeks, starting with J.T. Barrett against Ohio State, I should say, going into Wisconsin with Joel Stave kind of, throwing over 200 yards. And, Jake Rudock just had his way with the Rutgers defense tonight. Young secondary is going through its growing pains.
The question is this just symptomatic of playing 3 of the top teams in the country in the last 3 weeks? Or is Rutgers just not that good this year? Do they not have the ability to compete in this conference? What do you think?
Well, I think the one thing that stood out to me was with Kyle Flood in his post-game press conference. He opened up by saying Michigan is where Rutgers wants to be and what Rutgers strives to be. And it's a little ironic because Michigan last year was a 5-7 team, and the turnaround that they had was with a coaching change. Not sure what Flood's going at with his implications there, but it's it's an interesting way to kind of assess the matter. And Michigan right now is where Rutgers wants to be. Rutgers wants to be a Big Ten program, but I don't know if going through 3 consecutive blowout losses, averaging roughly 49 points on defense and not really putting much of a fight on offense. Rutgers hasn't scored on offense in either of the 3 games. The one score came with 13 seconds left against Ohio State in garbage time. So, I don't know if this is the way you go through it, but hey, that's Kyle Flood's assessment, not mine.
The 1 touchdown they were able to put on the board, Janarian Grant returns a kick for 100 yards on a kickoff. Finally gets back into some sort of rhythm on special teams. He also had a 67-yard punt return later in the game. Do you think that is a little boost for the team to see him come back and show some life?
Oh, it has to be. And he talked about earlier in the week wanting to get the ball, wanting to make an impact for the team. So, Janarian Grant was definitely able to make an impact on special teams, got Rutgers on the board, got Rutgers in field goal position with his 1 punt return. But for the team overall, there has to be more there. There has to be more on the defense. There has to be more on offense. And, it's just lacking right now. And, the end result tonight is a prime example of it.
Yeah, and we talked about it all week, that Michigan is where Rutgers wants to be. Michigan is why Rutgers wants to be in the Big Ten. They're a model program, model university. But today just wasn't the Scarlet Knights' day as they suffer a 49-16, another lopsided loss here in Ann Arbor at the Big House. For Garrett Stepien, I'm Kevin Xavier in the Daily Targum. We'll see you next week.